This is your all-new 2021 Toyota Sienna minivan. Minivans get a bad rap, and they shouldn't. I quite like the new Sienna. Let's go through our quirks, perks, and irks. So starting with the front end, definitely bold and sets a statement. It's not quite as big as a Lexus grille at the bottom here, but you could see a bit of the inspiration there. Just very large, very big pieces there. This is the optional 360 cam, so there's one of your cameras. All Siennas now are hybrid, so you get the blue and the logo. Just a nice clean look around the front. A bit of an irk for me. The turn signal is a little small. I wish it was a little bigger, just took a little more space. LEDs, 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 and down low, you get LEDs for your fog lights. One more quick look up front. Pretty good designing, if I say so myself. Gonna go to the front quarter look where we started from. I'll go around a little bit because the folks over at Toyota decided to take some inspiration from their bullet trains, and I can kind of see it. Just the really steeply raked windshield over there just gives it that extra aerodynamic look. So it looks pretty good for me, you know, for a minivan. Rims, not too bad, not complicated, and I have no problems with them at all. There's your hybrid badging at the bottom. Now you do get your side marker right there, and not only is it on the side, but it also faces this way as well. So that kind of makes up for the small turn signal up front. I'll give you a side profile of it. Let's see if I can get the whole thing in frame. It's well, it's a minivan, so it's pretty big. Anyways, there you can see a bit of a better look at the inspiration from the bullet trains, and just I think it's a nice clean look. You can't really do much with minivans, but Toyota has definitely made this look pretty good, if I gotta say so myself. I think I used that line twice, and I've never used that line before. Anyways, we'll get to the inside a little later on. There's your gas tank, and taking inspiration here, you kind of see that long line going down. I believe it's the Prius that looks like that. A bit of a disappointment here. You get halogen turn signals at the rear, where everything else is LEDs. So I just kind of wish that was a little more uniform. All right, so there's the back end. I believe that the wiper is at the bottom as opposed to the top, because this one has the optional digital rearview mirror, which is up there. But it still looks good overall. You got a couple of cameras down here as well. There's one, there's two, and a fun little fact, when you put your disperse the washer fluid from the rear wiper, it comes out of there also to clean your rear view camera. So, sorry, the backup camera. So pretty nicely done there. All right, so opening this up, a couple of options. You can either kick under there or you can go under here. Let's do the classic lift. And let's try and be as fairly quick, as there's a lot to go through. So I love that these seats go flat in. So that one's already done, and I'll show you just how easy it is. Basically, you're gonna pull this handle. And if I can do it with one hand, anyone can do it. And you just put that little flap over there to kind of make it a little on the cleaner side. So with these two seats up, there's just under 1,000 liters of cargo space. With everything else pushed forward and collapsed, it's almost 3,000. So lots of functionality here. Good old storage bins there. And you got your cup holders there. USBs and your volume, and that takes care of the screen, which you see right in the middle. Let's see if we can zoom in on that for a touch. Yep, there it is. So there's a volume there as well. So Toyota's really taken a lot of care in making sure the rear passengers are well taken care of. I want to put this up again to show you how easy it is. So you lift the handle, you push forward, you hear the lock, and then it's very smartly labeled number 2, number 1, and there's a little diagram there as well. So you take the little strap, and then you can adjust it to any way you want. I'm just gonna leave it there for now. Put the headrest up and off you go. Let's take a look inside, starting with these really cool sliding doors. So you can go the classic route, just lift that and pull it, and that opens it up. Or you can go down here. There's a little 3-bar sensor thing here, and basically what you do is kick underneath, and the door opens. So before I get to what's inside, there's 3 ways to close the door. You can either tug on the handle, kind of pull it out. You can push the button, or you can do the kick thing again. Again, there's that little sensor in case you ever forget where it is. So lots of space back here. I've kept the door open for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. So look at how long these rails are to get the sliding feature of the middle set of seats. Like, it's just so long. So basically you're gonna pull that up. I wonder if I can do this with one hand. I think so. Anyway, so look at all that space. Like, that is just an obscene amount of space, and I mean that with absolute love, Toyota. I'll do my little seat test. So I can't even reach the front seat without leaning forward a bit. even with my feet stretched all the way out, like I've got long legs, I've got a short upper body. It's kind of weird, but like if I extend my toes, I can touch barely the bottom of the driver's seat. But there is so much space here, and there should be no complaining from anyone in these middle seats. You do get the sunshade here, which is retractable, so kind of a nice move there as well. Again, you get the screen and the little entertainment system, and it tucks away. You get your climate controls up here as well. There's one of your vents, and you got more USB ports, charging port, plus you get your AC 120, plus your HDMI, and a couple of cup holders here as well. Lots of space back here. I'm really surprised at just how well Toyota's done with this. So there's another way to close the door. There it is, power door, and you push it. Pretty obvious, and the door closes, and there's a good look at the rear sunshade. And just kind of looking backwards throughout. So this is with the rear seats collapsed. Obviously, you can't lift them up the way the seats are now because they're all the way back on the rails. And again, just look at how long, there it is. Look at how long these rails are. It's just such a really smart move from Toyota. So there's no little bar to push under here. You have to go through the side panel, the side little button here. So we'll do that, and we'll lift it up a little bit. So seats have to be up a bit in order to have these two come up. But again, lots and lots and lots of functional space back here in the Sienna. And yes, you get your little armrest, because usually there's some kind of console here. Now you can get it with an eight-seater, so it'd be 3 and 3 is 6 plus a 2 up front. But Toyota has spec'd this one with the 7-seater, a little bit of storage in there as well, plus that little netted storage in there. All right, so let's give you a quick look at what's over my shoulder, or over the shoulder of the driver, whoever that is. In this case, it's me. So I'm going to close this up, and I'll show you just one of the other ways. So again, you just little tug on the handle, and that's how you open that up. So let's take a look inside. We put the signal off. All right, door panel, full marks. I know. So the accessories are on, and I open the door, and it's beeping. Anyways, thank you for giving me storage in here. All your basic functions are here. Automatic folding mirrors, memory seats. I love that there's storage here, and there's storage here, and here, and here. And I put a water bottle in here. It does not get in the way up there, but if you wanted to just have that area clean, it definitely does fit, and the door does close pretty nicely. Because this is a hybrid, battery packs are kept right here underneath the front seats, freeing up some space in the rear as far as not having it too compromised. Seats, pretty nice. Side bolsters, not too bad. Side bolsters, really nice. I love the color, and I love how comfortable they are. Really smart move, Toyota. You got some storage in here. If you want to kill the power door switch for whatever reason, that's how you do it. Bunch of your options are right here as well. Odometer, trip view, heated steering wheel, AC 120, automatic high beams, and traction control on and off. Power steering wheel. Pretty nice move for a minivan, Toyota. You do get just the regular panel sunroof. No big deal to me, because, well, you want to keep the kids entertained through that screen. That's how you're going to do it. That means there is no room for a full panoramic sunroof. Look at the size of that pass-through. It is absolutely massive. And the smart thing here that Toyota did, at least to me, is there's that little part that's raised, so if you want to put something in here, it won't fall around to the rest of it. And there's another example of that in there. Huge perk for me is the armrest. So it's fixed to this whole middle console thing. And the smart part for that here is if you open up the door, you still have your armrests. It's not all one piece. It's 1, 2, 3 pieces. So really smart move by Toyota on that side. You still have the function. You're not inconveniencing the driver or your front passenger. So again, really smart move there by Toyota. Let's take a look up here. It's going to go backwards to the dashboard last. I got your cup holders, but if you just want a little bit of storage for your phone, just slide it in that way. Again, really smart. Got your drive modes, got your gear shift. I'll show you a cool trick with the gear shift as soon as we start the car. 2 more cup holders. That's how you get your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto going, and wireless charging with this trim. I believe a couple of other trims have it as well, and a little more storage just over to either right side. All right, let's actually get in the vehicle now. Close up the door. Nice large infotainment system. Graphics are a little iffy. They're good, they're not great. Let's get into that right now. So again, not great, but I know they can do great things because this is with the digital rearview mirror on, and just look at all the detail in the leaves. Like, it's just so high res, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then with this, it's just kind of like a night and day contrast. I'm gonna start the vehicle. Again, I mentioned this has the 360 cam. I'll put the car into reverse. And I know it's you don't get the same level of quality through the backup camera and surround view camera as you do through this. So I know they have the technology. I wish they'd implement what they have here into here. Like, again, it's not bad. I'll just move the car a touch. You know, the wheel lines move as well, but just I wish it was a little more high res, just high res overall. Sorry, let me go back to that for a quick sec. You get different camera views as well. So there's that, and there's, oops, I think I missed it. There you go. Anyways, I just wish it was a little more high res. I do like that there are hard touch buttons along the side. The cool thing with the gear shift, as I was mentioning, so right now it's straight up, it's in park, as you can see. When I drop it down to drive, look at how low it goes. Right? It just kind of feels like it goes down a bit, and it's not so intrusive to get to your cup holders or if you have anything in here. So I think that's a really nice move by Toyota. It's only maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches, if that, of space saving, but still every little attention to detail helps. Again, you can see how high it is there. Bring it back down, and it's much lower. So really smart move there, Toyota. Four ways just over here to the right. Sorry, left of that, and the right of the steering wheel. Dashboard, standard stuff for Toyota. It's nothing new, which is fine because it's very functional. It's easy to pull your information out of. Again, this being a hybrid, you don't have your traditional tachometer. Charge, eco, and if you really need to get things going, just kick it a little harder. You get to the power section. Going back into here, you get your drive modes. And basically, I'll take a quick look here at your drive mode. So you have sport, and then normal and eco. I live in eco. The whole week I've lived in eco. I've done 427.8 kilometers. I filled the gas tank up. I'd gone through a little more than a quarter tank. I'll get to more than that in the drive section, but drive. This Sienna just begs to be driven. Another cool thing here, I've seen these before, it's a little conversation mirror. So it's not a sunglasses holder, so you can see the little glass there. So that way you can see all of your rear passengers. And your door controls are up here. So trunk, left door, and right door, or a driver's side door and passenger door. On the road with the 2021 Toyota Sienna. So there are 8 trims in total, and they all get the same engine. Technically 4 trims, the LE, XLE, XSE, and Limited, but you can get front wheel drive or all wheel drive. So that's why there's 8, but there's really 4. The one engine that will come with it is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. You do get the 2 electric motors, and the total output is 245 horsepower, and it comes through a CVT, courtesy of Toyota. Let's talk about driving impressions itself. It's a minivan. You're buying this for its functionality as opposed to how agile and how nimble it is. But the big takeaway here for me is surprisingly quiet, and a lot of that has to do with the hybrid motor, specifically in EV mode, and I'll get to that in about a minute from now. But the drive quality is very comfortable, good seating position. The battery packs are underneath myself and my front passenger. So with that, you do get that elevated point of view as far as your sight lines go. A lot of people knock minivans because they're not cool, and I get a better line of sight through an SUV. Well, you don't necessarily do all the time, because my sight lines here through the Sienna are wonderful. I see everything. I can still see the end of the hood, and my horizon line is very, very large. And my visibility out the rear window and the side windows are just full marks, top notch for me. Quiet on city streets, really, really nice. I've lived in EV mode, and what I find with that is you get the most amount of mileage. I'll get to that later on. But you definitely have that quietness once the EV actually kicks in eco mode. Yeah, it's got a premium JBL audio system, and if you really want your tunes up, crank it up. But you won't be cranking up the audio to get rid of a lot of the road noise and wind noise. Lots of insulation here, a really comfortable and very serene ride. It gets a little noisy when you're going on the highway because, well, that's just how it is. You can't, short of strapping a turbocharger in here to really make it go. The CVT does get a little whiny at higher speeds, and it's not a shot against Toyota. I would take all the benefits this specific Sienna has to offer as a trade-off for having it be a little loud when I'm getting onto the highway. Let's jump into the world of safety. So every Sienna gets Toyota Safety Sense, and there's a list on the screen. And I feel like a broken record saying this, but Toyota is absolutely setting the bar incredibly high, because whether it's any trim, let's say an LE Sienna, or whether it's a Corolla, you're getting the same Toyota standard safety sense. And in some vehicles, you know, you've got to pay a fair bit extra to get what Toyota gives you standard on all their vehicles. So I think that's a really great move that Toyota's done. One big asset here is the 360 cam. And because it's a longer vehicle, it may not be the easiest to park. You know, you've got an extra couple of feet compared to, let's say, the Highlander or the 4Runner or, you know, whatever it is. So 360 cam, absolutely a benefit for me. That way you're not dinging curbs or the car next to you, and you don't have to guesstimate how close you are to the next car or whatever it is. Another benefit of the minivan overall, speaking of dinging and denting, it's the sliding doors, and you just can't beat that, because even if you pull in forward to the right end, and if there's a little bit of space on either side of you in the parking spot, you swing out the doors, there's always that risk of hitting the car next to you. With the Sienna sliding doors, I guess with all minivans with sliding doors, yes, it goes out like maybe an inch and a half, because the door has to go out and then back, but you won't ding anybody's door by using sliding doors as opposed to conventional swing doors. Let's talk about fuel consumption. So on a 68-liter tank of regular fuel in liters per 100 kilometers, and this is an easy one for me to memorize. 68-liter fuel tank, 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers on city streets, 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, and blended total comes out to 6.7. It's just, I know, one of the easier ones I've had to memorize. Quick math tells me I can do in and around 1,000 kilometers per tank. You fill up the minivan with people and stuff and things, yeah, that'll go down a bit, but that's a pretty impressive figure to get close to the 1,000 mark with a vehicle of this size and this weight. The seats are quite comfortable, everything's within reach. Here's my hand touching the top of the screen, which means I can get to the screen face itself without any issue at all. You get that nice screen for the rear passengers just over up there in the roof. I would take that over having a panoramic sunroof, because function over fashion for me. Just before we wrap up, quick touch on the trims. I think there's too many. There's 8 in total. I think they should have just made it all-wheel drive, period. No front-wheel drive option. Yes, it is on demand, all-wheel drive, which is a really, really smart move by Toyota. But I don't know who would pick front-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive, especially with such a small increase in price. So it's about $2,000 for all the trims to go from front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. Two final quick things. I love that the bumper is a lot lower to the ground than the outgoing model, and the benefit for that is you don't have to lift things as high to get them into the trunk. My knee is at bumper level, which is pretty good. It's usually kind of thigh level for me, but it's just so much easier to get things in and out. And since we're on the back end of the vehicle, you can tow up to 3,500 pounds with it when properly equipped. So you want to take your boat or a small trailer or whatever it is, you put your people in the front, put your stuff out the back, and fully functional vehicle. So even more of a fully functional vehicle. That's going to wrap it up for the 2021 Sienna. If you got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. Feel free to subscribe, and feel free to tell somebody about the channel who, well, may be interested in what I do. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I will see you in the next video.